History is replete with stories of triumph and tragedy, of progress and regression, yet some of the most harrowing chapters in human history, marked by unimaginable cruelty and suffering, often remain shrouded in obscurity. These are the stories of forgotten genocides, events that have been systematically erased from public memory. Genocide, the intentional destruction of a people, is not a relic of a bygone era. It is a persistent threat that continues to plague our world. By understanding the root causes of past genocides and recognizing the warning signs, we can work towards a future where such horrors are relegated to the history books. The act of remembrance is not merely an exercise in historical analysis, it is a profound act of empathy and solidarity with the victims. By keeping the memory of these atrocities alive, we honor the victims and inspire future generations to strive for a more just and compassionate world. The year was 1919. India, under the yoke of British colonial rule, was a powder keg of unrest. On April 13th, in the northern city of Amritsar, this unrest culminated in the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. British troops under Brigadier General Reginald Dyer surrounded a peaceful protest and opened fire on the unarmed crowd without warning. Men, women and children were indiscriminately mowed down by a hail of bullets. Official British figures put the death toll at 379, but independent estimates suggest it was far higher. The massacre became a rallying cry for the Indian independence movement, exposing the brutal reality of British rule. Mahatma Gandhi condemned the massacre, calling for a nationwide strike in protest. The Herero and Nama genocide, perpetrated by the German Empire between 1904 and 1908 in what is now Namibia, stands as a chilling precursor to the horrors of the 20th century. Driven by expansionist ambitions and racial superiority, German colonists embarked on a systematic campaign of extermination against the Herero and Nama people. German military commander Lothar von Trotha issued an extermination order, driving the Herero into the Omaheke Desert to die of thirst and starvation. The Nama people met a similar fate, rounded up and imprisoned in concentration camps, subjected to forced labor, torture, and medical experimentation. Thousands perished from disease, starvation, and exhaustion. The genocide, though largely forgotten outside of Namibia, stands as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of colonialism, racism, and unchecked power. The Holodomor, a Ukrainian word meaning to kill by starvation, stands as one of the most horrific acts of genocide in human history. Between 1932 and 1933, Soviet Ukraine was transformed into a land of unimaginable suffering as a man-made famine, orchestrated by Joseph Stalin's regime, swept across the countryside. Soviet authorities implemented brutal policies that led to the confiscation of grain, livestock, and other foodstuffs from Ukrainian peasants. Villages were sealed off, preventing people from leaving in search of food. Millions of Ukrainians, primarily farmers and rural communities, perished from starvation. The Soviet government denied the existence of the famine, blaming it on natural disasters and kulak sabotage. The Holodomor, long shrouded in secrecy, has only recently gained widespread recognition as an act of genocide. The forgotten genocides share a common thread: the darkness of denial. For decades, the perpetrators of these atrocities have sought to erase the memory of their crimes and evade accountability. This denial compounds the suffering of the victims and their descendants, leaving deep wounds that can take generations to heal. Denial is a dangerous and corrosive force that perpetuates injustice and prevents reconciliation. The act of acknowledgement, however painful, is an essential step towards healing and justice. Acknowledgement can take many forms: official apologies, memorials, educational curricula, and individual acts of remembrance. When we acknowledge the truth of past atrocities, we honor the memory of the victims and create the conditions for a more just and compassionate future. The forgotten genocides hold profound relevance for the contemporary world. They serve as stark reminders of the fragility of peace, the dangers of unchecked power, and the persistent threat of prejudice and discrimination. The ongoing genocide of the Rohingya people in Myanmar bears chilling similarities to the forgotten genocides of the past. The Myanmar military has unleashed a wave of violence against the Rohingya, forcing hundreds of thousands to flee their homes. Similarly, the plight of the Uyghur people in China's Xinjiang region evokes painful memories of past genocides. The Chinese government has implemented a systematic campaign of repression against the Uyghurs, with over 1 million forcibly detained in re-education camps. These contemporary examples underscore the urgent need to learn from the forgotten genocides of the past to prevent history from repeating itself. The forgotten genocides stand as a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for both great evil and great good. Remembering the forgotten is a call to action, a commitment to building a world where such horrors are never repeated. Education is paramount. By incorporating these stories into school curricula, we can ensure future generations are aware of these atrocities. We must support historians, researchers, and journalists dedicated to uncovering the truth of these events. Holding perpetrators accountable for their crimes is essential for healing and reconciliation. We must support international efforts to investigate and prosecute those responsible for genocide and crimes against humanity. By challenging bigotry and